Harold Doggy Bag Denton wasn't always crazy. Okay, maybe a little crazy. He really liked food. He owned Harold's Hungry Hut. It was a little diner, not fancy. Harold had one rule: clean your plate. People respected Harold, mostly because he was a very large man. He treated his customers like family. As long as they finished their food, then came the incident. A man, Mr. Johnson, ordered a giant omelette. He ate half, then he left. Harold was devastated. He yelled, "There are hungry people out there, and you disrespected the food?" That was the end of Harold's Hungry Hut. It was also the beginning of the leftover lunatic.
And so began the legend of Doggy Bag Denton, a man with a mission to stop food waste, no matter the cost.
Harold became obsessed. He saw food waste everywhere. A half-eaten sandwich in the park, a discarded banana peel. It was too much. He started small, leaving angry notes on trash cans, dumpster diving for evidence. Then he snapped. He decided to take justice into his own hands. Food justice.
His first target? Mr. Johnson, of course. Mr. Johnson was relaxing at home. Suddenly his doorbell rang. It was Harold. He looked bigger, angrier.
He shoved a giant doggy bag into Mr. Johnson's chest. "Remember this?" Harold roared.
Mr. Johnson trembled. He remembered the uneaten omelette. He knew what he had to do. He spent the next week eating every leftover Harold shoved at him.
Harold called it re-education.
Word spread. People started fearing the doggy bag and the man who wielded it.
Harold's methods became more creative and stranger. He believed in food-themed punishments, like the Microwave of Mayhem. He'd strap a victim inside a giant microwave, not to cook them. Well, not exactly. He'd surround them with the food they'd wasted, then he'd make them smell it for hours.
"The stench of your sins will stay with you," Harold would bellow. It was weird, but effective. People started cleaning their plates out of fear. Section 5, the Ballad of Burnt Broccoli. One time Harold caught a woman feeding broccoli to pigeons.
"Broccoli is a gift," he screamed, his eyes bulging. "It's not for the birds."
He kidnapped the woman's dog. He held it hostage. Her punishment, eating burnt broccoli for a week.
"This is what happens when you disrespect the broccoli," he yelled.
The dog just whimpered. Section 6, justice is served. Cold.
Harold's antics made the news. He became a local legend. People started calling him the leftover lunatic. He loved it. He even made himself a costume. A giant doggy bag with holes for his arms and legs. His punishments became more elaborate. He once made a group of teenagers who'd thrown away pizza crusts work at a pizza parlor for a month. And they weren't allowed to eat any pizza. "You'll learn the value of a good crust," he declared.
Section 7, can you stomach the truth?
Harold's crusade continued. Food waste was declining, but it wasn't enough. He wouldn't rest until every plate was clean, every crumb consumed. He started a TV show, Can You Stomach the Truth? He'd show hidden camera footage of people wasting food. Then he'd confront them, on air. His ratings were through the roof.
Section 8, fear the doggy bag.
Harold's influence spread. Restaurants started offering doggy bag approved portions. Grocery stores had Harold's picks for foods close to their expiration dates. Parents used him to scare their kids into finishing their vegetables. "Do you want Harold to come here?" they'd hiss. It was surprisingly effective. Harold had become a cultural icon.
Section 9, no one escapes the leftover lunatic.
So next time you think about leaving a fry on your plate, think again. Harold Doggy Bag Denton is watching, and he knows what you did. He's always watching, always waiting, always hungry for justice. Food justice. Remember his words, there are hungry people out there. And you disrespected the food. You wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of the doggy bag of doom, would you?